Featured on Fox, CBS, NBC for the impact from his virtual counseling as a response to the relational health crisis during the COVID pandemic.
He's very skilled in his area of expertise. Dr. Vandy is definitely the person for you.
I felt like I was on a operating table and he sliced our marriage open. And I'm like, man, does he know us?
Dr. Vandy, Ph.D., certified counselor with presidential status in the American Association of Christian Counselors, has a virtual counseling practice.
Great tool. Do it as soon as possible.
I find myself to be a happier person.
Their best-selling book, Love and Happiness, The Secrets to Creating Winning Relationships. It's no surprise that the Coulters are in high demand. Relationship subject matter experts featured on talk shows looking for real relationship talk. The Coulters' virtual retreats, social media platforms, and relationship masterclasses have put their mission to help 1 million couples in their sights. Our motto is no one gets their happily ever after. They create their happily ever after. After the hurt, after the disappointment, you can still be happy. And love and happiness is just what you need to have.
Hey, we are here. We're live. We're looking forward. Almost had a weird glitch. So
happy Saturday.
Thanks for rolling with us. Kick us off with a conversation.
So happy Saturday. Thank God the long work week is over and it's Saturday so we can detox and just relax. Hopefully you guys are relaxing. Yeah. So today's show, hopefully, I think it's a good topic.
You got a lot of hope. It ain't hope. It's definitely
nothing wrong.
Talking about 3 things that lead to breaking up.
Yeah.
Forget this title there. Let me get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the glitch that we was dealing with. Forget that.
Yeah.
We're talking about 3 things that lead to breaking up. Yeah. So go ahead.
3 things. Although there's more than 3 things.
Right, but these are 3 of the most important things that will lead to breaking up.
Yeah.
Without somebody stepping out of the relationship.
Right, but that's why you have to guard and protect your love, your emotion, your relationship at all costs. Protect it from family, friends, yourself when you're not in the mood to deal with stuff. But so I think it's important because we'll guard against things at work from keeping us quitting. Even though we don't like the way things are going at work sometimes, y'all know what I'm talking about. But you ignore your boss when your boss is getting your nerves. You ignore your coworkers. You ignore the extra workload, feeling like you're overworked, underpaid, and you won't quit. So
and I guess it does. These things we're going to talk about do affect every part of your life as well as your relationship. That's a good point.
Yeah, but people, I still think that people value the work relationship more than they do their home relationship at some point because 20-30 years you're still going strong, but you still have issues, but you'll guard your emotions from quitting on that. And I think that's big when we won't invest in making sure we have a healthy relationship and protect that. And so I'm glad my husband is the expert here so he can give you more information on that.
All right, so the 3 things, we'll name the 3 things and we're going to talk about them because these 3 things will infect and corrupt your relationship. It will make it hard for you to really operate in forgiveness. And if you're in a relationship, forgiveness is a ongoing part of love. It's like if you're going to get married or if you're married and if you cannot at least learn the art of forgiveness, learn the value in forgiveness, you're not going to be very happy.
No.
Because inevitably, invariably, your mate will do something that you need to get over. All right. So we're going to give you the 3 things that lead to breaking up in the hopes that you will take the time to guard against them, look at yourself and say, okay, I am doing this one or I am doing number 3. Yeah, and just allow the process or the circumstances not to just corrupt your whole spirit, your heart, everything that you need to bring to a healthy relationship can easily be like just kicked to the curb and lost if you don't guard against these 3 things. So number 1, and let's just go one by one.
Okay.
All right. By the way, before we do that, while we do have a glitch and you should disregard that banner, we are talking about 3 things that lead to breaking up. We also want you to not disregard this one, which is to take a second and hit your share right now. We're going to talk about some stuff that you may be really helping somebody with by you just taking the time to share. So share, and connect with us, talk to us. In 2022, we're really looking to create more of an interactive platform where you guys can ask questions and we can really talk. Because for some reason, when it comes to this space of relationship, a lot of people like to lay in the cut. They like to get the information. They like to hear the wisdom. They like to hear the tools. But they think if I ask a question or if I say
people
something,
think it's my relationship that's
they
messed
think
up,
I'm all
or
in trouble.
Think that I don't know what I'm doing. And it's not that. No.
Yeah, and people put a lot of focus on image in relationship, and that's really one of the challenges in relationships. This sidebar, just me on the soapbox for a second, is that if you don't take the time to just ask questions and discuss and just share, you don't have to be detailed to say my mate always. You can just simply say, what's your thoughts when someone is always seeming like, holding on to unforgiveness or da-da-da-da, or how does people actually really truly get past infidelity, those kind of things. It's cool to talk. That's all I'm trying to say. It's good to talk.
I think it's healthy to talk.
It's a good thing. So number one of the things that lead to breaking up is
holding on to grudges.
Yes.
Holding on to grudges. Sometimes I believe we hold on to grudges for different reasons. Sometimes it's just, we're stubborn and we just don't want to let it go, but we want people to forgive us.
Yeah.
I think other reasons people hold on to grudges is because what will people think? If I forgave so-and-so, if I forgive so-and-so, how will my family react or how will my friends react? And sometimes they'll hold on to a grudge.
Now, I'm gonna push back a little bit on that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if somebody's holding a grudge because they're worried about what other people think. I think letting, forgiving the person can feel embarrassing if their family is all like, we told you how they was. I can get that part. But I think the grudge itself is a personal choice that I know that worrying about what other people think can get in the way of you just letting it really be, where you can say, hey, I'm over it. Why don't y'all get over it? But I think the holding a grudge is really more like a uncomfortable, itchy, jacked up sweater that you wear, but you're uncomfortable the whole time you're wearing it. If you ever had a piece of clothing that when you wear it, it may look okay to others, but it's just not a comfortable fabric, and it just doesn't feel good. And the whole time that you're using it for a purpose. You're wearing the sweater because you want to stay warm. You're in the relationship because you want to stay connected, but you're carrying this grudge in a way that it just makes it uncomfortable to be in love, to say I love you. I think that it's an individual thing. At least I like to start there, I think. Instead of looking at the outside, reasons that people may feel embarrassed by their choices.
I think it's a little of both, if that's okay. I
It's
think
not.
I think it's a little of both because I've seen situations where, yes, the person is holding a grudge against their mate. They just they won't let it go. They say they forgive them, but they keep resurrecting Lazarus every time. They throw the issue in the person's face and
because they got a grudge.
Say that they forgave.
That's right.
And they didn't.
Right.
And I also see where sometimes when you really want to let go of the grudge and you forgave the person and you want to move on, but because you share it with your friends, your family, and they like, why you forgive him or why you forgive her, and you feel pressured, they keep reminding you about how they did you, and it makes you feel like I gotta hold on to this because my mama said or my sister said or my
I want to get
friend
past
said.
it.
But I see people all the time.
Everything you're saying everything you're saying is absolutely true.
This is it's a one of many. So it's
but listen, what I'm trying to say is it's absolutely true. But I think that it's maybe the term doesn't apply to the circumstance. Okay. I think your circumstances you're talking about is absolutely true.
Okay.
I just think a grudge is your own personal choice.
Issue. Okay.
It's you. It's not. Nobody carries a grudge for you. If now they can carry a beef, long after you let it go, they can hold a grudge or but again, it's now their grudge and it's their beef. They just did it in the cause or in the name of, I love you. So I I'm squint-eyed even though you forgave them. But the person who's squint-eyed is the one holding the grudge.
Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say. And I think that it's not untrue what you're saying. I just think that what you're talking about is really more how, you know, the family or people around you may not get over it, but you're the one that's intimately connected to them. You could forgive it faster.
Yeah.
I just think in terms of the grudge itself, it's so personal that it hurts to hold on to it, because it just sucks the joy out of your day, your journey, out of everything you're doing. I just think that if the person is holding a grudge in a relationship, that is like having slow poison that eventually kills any chance you have to be happy. You know, it kills it. It kills every chance to be intimate, because, you know, there's a difference between sex and intimacy.
I do have a question for you. What's the difference between a grudge and resentment? Because I believe some people, they'll say that they're not holding grudges, but they really have that resentment. So what's the difference between a resentment and a grudge? Because some people go, well, I don't hold a grudge, but you're holding on to resentment for your mate. So what's the difference? Can you help me with that?
I'm not sure there's a big difference. I think it could be almost splitting hairs between resentment. Now, a grudge, if we were to just split hairs on it, and it's a thin line. Resentment is it can take different colors. Okay. So in other words, I can literally resent myself for what I've allowed you to do to me. But I'm not holding a grudge against me.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
Yep,
I'm not holding a grudge against myself.
Right.
But I can resent myself.
That's true.
For that I've let you walk the dog a certain way.
Right.
So
I allowed you to treat. Right.
But the reason I say it's splitting hairs is because at the end of the day, who's in bondage? The person with resentment, the person with the grudge. That's all. That's why I'm saying that it's a coin, but it's one has heads, one has tails. Right. But they are different in the fact that there are ways that you can resent that you just don't grudge. I grudge me. I grudge you. I can resent me. I don't grudge me. I don't got a grudge and like wake up looking. I got a grudge against myself.
No, but that's good information because a lot of times people, you know, they think that they're not holding on to something or a grudge, or they think, you know, I think it makes a difference, but I think it makes sense how you broke that down because and even adults, they do hold grudges. Because if you hear the term grudge, you think of a kid, you know, having a grudge.
Good point.
And it's like, adults like, well, I don't hold a grudge. That's what kids do. I'm a teenager. I'm not a kid, you know. Yeah. But a grudge, people do hold on to things, issues.
So in the spirit of that, it would be fair to deduce that holding a grudge can be a tell of your EQ, that you may not have as much maturity as you think.
The emotional potent.
Yep. Because you're literally holding on to something you should be able to work through and resolve. Right. So it may cause, again, some more reflection. But number two, in terms of the second thing that can cause, that leads to breaking up. So the grudge is a long-term kind of cancer, long-term condition, could be high blood pressure, could be something that you got going on in your relationship body that you may not know, but eventually when it comes to the head, it kills it. That's my point. But the second thing that can lead to breaking up is
dysfunction, cycles of strife in your relationship.
Yeah, function.
Oh,
Functioning dysfunction.
That's all.
Meaning you're still sleeping together, hanging together, eating together, doing things together, but you have a dysfunctional cycle that you're literally functioning through life with, and you haven't stopped the crazy cycle and interrupted the dysfunction to say we need to break this up. And the dysfunctional cycle functioning keeps you from ever really having happiness.
And so how do you know if you are in a functional relationship? Okay. How do you know that?
So if it's functioning as I'll give you an answer by giving you a kind of like metaphor or analogy. If you have a television and it's supposed to play in color and it's supposed to stream all your channels, but for some reason it's difficult to keep a Wi-Fi connection. So the streaming channels keep leaving, they break up, or the TV color keeps going from color to black and white. It's still functioning as a TV, but it's dysfunctioning as its full purpose of a television. It's not giving you all of the color, all of the streaming capacity. It's just not, but if you look at it, it looks like a TV still. So a lot of times a relationship that has a dysfunctional function going in, we stayed together, we didn't leave, we still have the same address, we still go out to places.
Separate bedrooms, maybe, or
well, it could be a byproduct of, for sure. But a lot of times they're sleeping in the same bedroom and they just have cycles of strife. It's like if you count on a given 7 day, and if you know how, like, if somebody wants you to track habits that are unhealthy or healthy, if you had a physical trainer or something, they would say, make a list of everything you eat every day, right? And that's really so you can discover how much am I not doing right. You know, it's not for them to just have nothing to do. It's for you to start to kind of see up close, like, wow, I really have a few things. I was eating that, yeah, you know. And if you were to do the same thing in your relationship, if you just took the last 7 days and you said, all right, I'm going to literally walk from Sunday to Saturday.
How many times you argued?
How many times we went through the same drama, the same anger? How many times I got frustrated? How many times they got frustrated? How many cuss words crossed between us? How many times the door slammed? Or how many times somebody shut down?
Right.
Or how many times somebody just said, see, this is what I'm talking about. If you was to start tracking all of those kind of habits.
Or how many times we haven't spoke to each other. You have people who are living together who don't speak, who don't touch, who don't, no form of intimacy or evidence of a relationship. So that is and just because they say good morning, that's not really speaking to each other. Or just because, you know, they answered the phone by saying hello and the other one said pick up the kids, that's not speaking to each other. And the only thing that's holding them together is the kids and not that their friendship or fellowship.
Well, not just the kids holding them together, but in a dysfunctional cycle, it's like a threefold cord, not easily broken. So it's not, if you remove the kids, they'll still stay together dysfunctioning while they're in the relationship.
That's the thing. It's like, and you can help me with my why reasons. It's like, I love being in a relationship with my husband. I love being in love with you. I love our friendship. I love our fellowship. We get moments of busy where we can't, you know, do things as much. But still I enjoy. It's like, why spend time with why handcuff or golden handcuff yourself to a relationship when you have options? Either make it work or get out. Why do that?
That's what I love about my wife. She does have this. She has this like why thing. So listen. Try to follow this. I'm listen. If you
got that why too.
Wait. If you track with us long enough, you will hear our testimonies, particularly mine, because I've had already like 8 lives. I have like 8 lives already. So growing up in the projects, growing up in Brooklyn, growing up in the hood where dysfunction was normal. Okay, we looked at things normal. Your question is, hey, so why is it weird? Why is it, you know, why would somebody want to go through life with a dysfunction? Well, when we were growing up in the projects, in the streets, and we was about that mentality that now in hindsight, I can look and go, wow, that's just a byproduct of the environment. That's a byproduct of kind of the system of life in the projects, you know, gossip, you're just fighting and it's just, you know, you see the things that I've seen in terms of, you know, just egregious crimes and stuff. It's normal. It was normal to me. If you came up to me and said, this isn't normal for you to have seen murders, this isn't normal for you to see the drugs and the things, and this isn't normal for you to be in this environment of poverty, it was normal to me. It was my norm. So when you ask about how can somebody be comfortable in a dysfunctional cycle, it's their norm. And if you're not careful, you can create a norm that is not functioning properly. The function of a relationship is to be each other's best friend, to be intimate, to be connected, to have each other's back, to grow together. That's the function of a relationship, along with other things, the pleasure of connecting physically and connecting emotionally. Those are, ideally, you don't get together to be miserable.
No, right.
You don't go to dinner and be like, so we're gonna be miserable.
The food's gonna taste nasty.
Yeah, and you're just gonna stay with me. You're gonna stay with me for like 9 years longer than you should. And when we do finally break up, you're gonna resent yourself for not breaking up sooner, but we're gonna have a good time. How about it? And the person goes, that sounds awesome. Let's start our misery right away. Let's skip dessert. Let's go right to misery. No, most people don't realize they're creating patterns of dysfunction. They don't realize these cycles of arguing over little things are robbing the ability to function in a healthy way.
Of the relationship
right.
to its fullest.
Right. So the key is, when you have those cycles, is if you want to break them, you have to start creating healthy cycles. So you can't, it's like credit. I often use the credit example. If you have bad credit, unless you have the skill set to get it removed, the reality is, if it's something you actually did and it's not going away, you have to create positive credit lines to replace the negative. And eventually the positive outweighs the negative and your score gets better. So if you create healthy cycles by first both of you agreeing, this is dysfunctional. This isn't how we're supposed to function. This is a malfunction and the worst case. How about we address these different things differently? And again, counseling helps you get the tools to do that. And a lot of times I'll tell people it won't fix itself, because you might know it's a problem, but that doesn't mean that you're capable of fixing it. But there is that. Now, the third thing before we go, because also I want to make sure that if y'all tracking with us, we have someone who's doing an interview on us on their social channel at 1 o'clock today. And awesome young lady. Her name is Tiffany, and I think it's Mahogany with her social side. And it is her channel. Oh God, what is her channel? Where is it? She sent me the post. She reached out and contacted us, but I'm looking for her social. That's her Facebook. So her Facebook is Tiffany Coaxum, okay, and it's spelled Coaxum. That's her Facebook, according to the thing here that I see. Waiting for the link, Tiffany, if you're watching, to know whether we come in. And if you could text me the name of your YouTube channel, I'll shout it out.
If you're watching.
All right. So the third thing is, she's watching. She's that kind of person. She's on top of her game. But we're going to be with her at 1 o'clock today. And the third thing is amnesia. That leads to breaking up. It's going to make sense to you. Three things that lead to breaking up. The third thing, last thing we're going to talk about today, is just when somebody is just suffering from amnesia, where one or both of you literally forget why you're together in the first place. That if you forget why you're even trying to be together, if you forget what's the point of it, it's like the minute you can't remember why you're putting up with a different personality, or why it's worth it to work it out. When you can't remember your why you're even together,
that's dangerous.
Oh yeah,
that's dangerous. And a lot of people don't reflect on that at all, remembering the why. You said, I think they're stuck on number 2, that whole dysfunctional cycle,
or the grudge,
or
resenting themselves for, I don't believe I let myself get into this.
I always like to focus on the why, because everyone has to have a why. Even I told our kids are athletes, they're in sports. And when they get, they have a day that I can't, I'm like, no, remember your why. You love it. Remember what drew you to sports, cheerleading or volleyball or basketball or whatever you're doing. Remember what drew you there. And so I think in a relationship, you have to focus on your why and what made you want to be with them in the first place. Let's rewind the tape, go back, Oh, wait,
I just realized that there's a chat feature I was ignoring. Sorry. Marsh, how you doing? I see you, Marsh. Yep. I just didn't have the chat thing on.
So I think that just to remember
This is her channel, perhaps. Is this your channel, Tiffany? Let me see something. I think that's the channel. Is that your channel, Tiffany Coaxum? Please reply in the chat that I'll see. Otherwise, I am shouting out everybody else's channel, and I don't mind. Send your channel, we'll shout you out too. So I'm just gonna leave that there because if it ain't Tiffany, then we blessing somebody else. That's cool. So yeah, no, I think that what you said is perfect.
Yeah, I think perfect. Because it's like, you know, why did I get this person? You know, what drew me to them? You know, now if it was sex in the first place, that's not gonna last. It has to be something more.
Maybe it will.
No, it won't. No, it won't. Because you get old.
She might be sitting with the lights out, but like her hair is all like this. Like, but girl,
no, because that wears
who
off.
Who needs lights?
Sex wears off. Sex cannot be the thing that's tying you with your mate, because that will wear off. Anything can happen that can change that.
I know.
But it has to be, you know.
Just saying.
That would be sad if it was, because
people put up with a lot. Real talk, when that sex hits them in a way they ain't been hit before.
But
that's just if we gonna close out keeping it real.
But let's keep it real then. But then what happens is she gets tired, she gets old, he gets old, he might not can't work the way he used to work.
I'm talking about the 80-year version. I'm talking about when they in their prime.
No,
they put up with stuff longer, waste time. But a lot of times the sex, you see, you know what I'm saying? I got testimonies. Sometimes that thing will keep
how that work out. How that work out with the other one? How that work out?
No.
Y'all see this? My nails is busted today, but
why you?
How that work out?
I'm getting ready to bow out gracefully. I'm just I'm only making the point.
What? I'm just saying it didn't work out.
I'm not even sure what we're talking about anymore.
Amnesia, forgetting your why.
That's why I got amnesia.
I'm not
sure what we're talking about.
Forgetting your why.
I forgot why are we even talking about this. So we're gonna stop. and if y'all circle back, I assume this is the channel. It's an assumption at best.
That doesn't even
but I did give you her name in the conversation, Tiffany Coaxum, Coaxum, and we'll be live with her at 1:00. And so yeah. So look, we don't want you to miss the couples retreat. There's still some slots left. You would do yourself a favor to make sure that you are there, and we can build those kind of friendships
live in person.
Yes, indeed. So be sure to connect with us. We are going to see some of you later at 1, and the rest of you we will see on the next week. And
it's Christmas, right?
I don't know. Is it?
Christmas is next week.
It ain't gonna be no us doing this on Christmas, because we know y'all ain't gonna be watching anyway.
I think Christmas is next Saturday.
Look at the calendar real quick. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Joe no say.
I think Christmas is next week.
Oh, it is. Oh, well, yeah.
Merry Christmas.
We gonna see y'all probably
New Year's Day.
So if you could do New Year's, why you can't do? You ain't 8 years old.
Did you?
I'm just saying though. I'm just saying though. So yeah, we'll get up with y'all. Just make sure you got your notifications on, and maybe we'll come on, at different times. Yeah, maybe we'll do different times.
Or something. Figure it out.
All right, we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
And y'all just definitely need to be here. I'm Dr. Vandy.
And I'm Dr. Barbara.
And we are the founders of Love and Happiness. We are excited. This is something you absolutely want to be a part of. It is our first small group couples retreat, and this one is for Valentine's Day.
We promised you, and here it is.
Yes, and the theme is Let's Stay Together. 4 days, 3 nights in a gorgeous villa mansion with us, having a wonderful time of fellowship. But listen, only 10 couples per day.
Yes, and we have 2 dates. The first session is Friday, February the 11th through the 14th February.
Right.
You check out. And then later that evening, we have 10 new couples coming in. It's going to be an amazing time.
It really is.
Yes.
And we want you to use this as an opportunity to do something different for Valentine's Day.
That's right.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of food, fellowship, and fun. You get to meet interesting couples, create new relationships, and just enjoy the synergy of love in the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's a perfect holiday gift. When you think about why you should come,
I'll tell you why you should come. Ladies, we're going to have a breakout session called Ladies and Lemonade by the pool and the jacuzzi. And we're just going to talk real talk, women stuff, things we go through, and just share a sisterhood. That's why you should come.
And of course, we'll have a breakout session for men.
Okay.
We'll have workshops with proven tools to just strengthen communication and just take that intimacy to a deeper level. And we're so excited that you get to spend this time just with us for 4 days and 3 nights. It'll be a great time to fellowship, reconnect, and have fun.
And we want to meet you. We want to meet you. We want to connect with you, get to know who you are, and for you to get to know who we are, and just connect with other like-minded couples who are about something, and just to have a great time.
Yeah, and speaking of a great time, we want you to see what a few other people who've come to our retreats have had to say.
Our assessment of the Love and Happiness seminar, I thought was wonderful. I thought that the program itself was just, to be honest, it changed me in terms of how I communicated to my husband.
It was comforting to see other people there that also wanted to communicate better and have better strategies to get along.
It's really important to invest in marriage, and this was a huge investment, and we're glad that we made it.
Whether you've been married 1 year or 50 years.
Great tools.
I felt like it was fair.
Definitely helps with the communication.
It's really a no-brainer.
Like he literally, like I felt like I was on a operating table and he sliced our marriage open. And I'm like, man, does he know us? Like,
So affordable.
honestly, man, he put it. What he said was complete 100% true.
It has helped us to see things through a different lens.
Even if you're not concerned, you just want some great tools, do it as soon as possible.
Yes, things have gotten better.
I would not hesitate. Make your life just one step better.
You've heard what people had to say. Now come on out and say it for yourself. Come and have a great time with us. And we have a red and white. That's why we're wearing red and white. Sweethearts dance and dinner. That's going to be amazing. That's going to cap it all off. So you're going to want to be there. Only 10 couples per date will be able to come. You get so much, you don't want to miss it.
Beautiful atmosphere. Did we mention it was a villa mansion? It is beautiful. Yes.
Amenities,
bring your sunblock.
all included.
Right.
Fellowship. It's a wonderful gift, a wonderful way to celebrate. The info is right here, so take a look at everything. And remember, let's stay
together.